you have made it to the end of the Femme Embodiment quest. First of all, a big, big, big congratulations. Really thank yourself and be extremely proud of yourself that you did this, that you showed up, because I know that it's really not easy to do that. Specifically, as we live in a world where everything is almost like the opposite of what we've just been working on, where basically everything invites us to be in our head, where everything is about going and doing and analytical and being smart and logical, and everything is about giving and moving and fast-paced motions. And so really practicing this coming back home, allowing yourself to receive instead of constantly give, allowing yourself to slow down instead of constantly speed up, connecting to your intuition, to these qualities which are not always very logical, where basically you're following and trusting your body, even though your mind or your thoughts are questioning whether that's true or not. So I know that really showing up in this way is really taking a lot of commitment, a lot of devotion, a lot of you choosing you. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for being here, for showing up. And if you made it to the end of this Femme Embodiment quest, you might also be wondering, and now, what's next? How can I keep on learning, discovering, connecting to my feminine essence, my power, my body? This is why I created the Bridge Femme Academy. And I want to tell you a little story of how this creation came into being and for you to understand what it's truly about. Because basically I was 11 years old and it was the day of my birthday. So I was turning 11 and I was running down the stairs in full excitement to be receiving my Hogwarts letter. I am, yes, a fan of Harry Potter. I loved reading those books and watching those movies, and I was convinced on my 11th birthday that I would receive that letter to be invited to go to this magical school. Now, sadly, this letter never showed up, and I basically went down a path where I was still going to school, but not necessarily a magical school. And what I was being trained in and what I was learning was all mind-based principles, all mathematics and logical things in analytical subjects. And I was really trained to be that ambitious, strong, independent woman. And yes, it got me far. It taught me a lot of things. I fit in. I did my bachelor's, my master's. I went my way. I did what society told me to do. And yet deep down, there was always something missing. There was always a little soft voice whispering somewhere. And at some point that started to become louder and louder and louder. And at first it really confused me and I didn't really know what to do with that. And it kind of scared me. And I sort of like shoved it away a little bit more. Until at some point, I really couldn't ignore it anymore. I didn't want to. I had a lot of questions about myself. In general, I was fine. Like if you would have asked me back in the day, I would have said fine. Yet at the same time, I was taking the birth control pill as many times in a row as possible because I hated my period. At the same time that I was fine, I was also faking orgasms and struggling a lot in my relationship with pleasure, with surrender, with different desires, attractions to others. I felt so confused and bad about myself and ashamed of myself in many ways. At the same time, I was going through some really, really deep stuff within my family. And even though, yes, I was sort of having tears here and there, a lot of those emotions I didn't know what to do with. And I sort of shoved that away. And I was just a really nice guy, or the nice girl, the good girl. I even became more ambitious, more showing up, more trying to control everything because my family was fully falling apart. So I clinged on to control anywhere else. And I was terrified of not being in control, of being in charge, of not being independent. And so basically, as you can see, I might have not been as fine as I thought that I was. Now, when I eventually decided to go travel for a year, and that opened up the space for me to get in touch with so many different wisdom traditions, like Tantra, like yoga, like meditation, like dance, like massage, a whole world opened up for me. And this is when it started to feel like I finally actually stepped into this magical world into my own personal Hogwarts journey, where I still started to receive the education that connected me to this very magical part within, where actually my life started to turn into something magical, where things would start to manifest and happen in a way that I couldn't logically explain, where I started to trust my intuition, where I started to really use my feelings and my emotions as a superpower, where I started to understand about and learn about my sensuality and my sexuality, and understand how there's so much beauty and so much power and so much aliveness to be found there, and that there is nothing to be ashamed of, and that there's endless amounts of pleasure to be discovered in many different ways, where I learned about surrender, and that that's a true superpower, and that it's nothing and has nothing to do with submissiveness. And I learned about connection, how to also ground back in, connect to my inner masculine, so that I wouldn't just like float off, but actually create this wholesome version of myself that can be ambitious, grounded, committed, dedicated, present, and at the same time alive, juicy, feeling, sensitive, intuitive. And from there, I entered into a next level of the Hogwarts, where I was learning about relationships and connecting to my partner and walking this journey also with someone together. From that space, from that whole Hogwarts experience within my own life, discovering the magic and discovering really how to create a true love story, to turn my ordinary life into a true love story, I basically created this academy, this online academy for women, where basically I imagined and visualized always it being an actual sort of education, an education we should have had growing up, but we never received. An actual Hogwarts where you learn about your own magic as a woman. And that's how the Bridge Femme Academy came into life. And basically, I'm going to be inviting you. I created an info package, a beautiful booklet and PDF for you to have a read what this is all about. Basically, the Academy comes with a 50-hour feminine leadership certificate, and you can turn it into a feminine leadership program, because feminine education is real education, and it's something to take serious. It's not something that you're like, oh yeah, I'll just do that to the side and I learn about these things within myself too. It's like, no, you are a woman, and it comes with so much magic, so much power, and so much beauty and aliveness and playfulness. And basically, I truly believe that this is the way into a way more beautiful life, a way more beautiful world. And this academy is basically designed to take you on that journey of first of discovering who you are as a woman, how your body works, to connecting to your emotions, to your aliveness, getting education around your sexuality. From there, learning about men, your own inner masculine, and then also learning how to bring it all together and practice this in relationship, in connection to yourself, to others, and discovering true love, true intimacy in that way. This is what the Bridge Femme Academy is all about. I would say check out the link in the description of this video. That is your next step. This is your invitation. This is basically me offering you that Hogwarts letter that you should have received and you never did. This is the moment. I hope to see you there.